Okay, we are going to read Mickey's Birthday Surprise. Okay, there are many Mickey books. Okay, so let's get to it. All right. I'll show you the inside of this part. Okay, one day Pluto and Mickey's kitten Molly watched as the Mickey busied himself around the kitchen. Mickey set the table. He put a big plate of cookies and another big plate of brownies right in the middle of the table. Then he made a big pitcher of lemonade, and there he is making his lemonade. Mickey, we are having guests, Molly thought happily. I wonder who's coming to visit, thought Pluto. Mickey noticed how Pluto and Molly kept looking at the food on the table. Why don't you two play outside until our guests come, Mickey? That's what Mickey suggested. He gently shooed them out the door. You see at the table the little mouse with the food. Okay, so outside, Pluto ran over to the mailbox. Molly followed. Pluto saw a box sitting beside the mailbox. He sniffed it, but he couldn't tell what was inside. Molly brushed up against it. It didn't feel like much of anything to her. Pluto decided to bring it to Mickey. Then they would find out what was inside. There goes the little box that he's sniffing. It's a gift in there. Something arrived from the mailman. Pluto brought Mickey the box and laid it at Mickey's feet. Why, thank you, Pluto, Mickey exclaimed. Grandma Duck has mailed a birthday present to me. Today is my birthday, you know. That's usually the time when you'll receive gifts. If you get anything, you see the beautiful package, it will be on your birthday. And you know you're going to be so shocked and excited, but something to be happy about. Okay, so then Mickey tore off the wrapping and the ribbon. What fun I have with those, Molly thought as she watched Mickey throw away the paper ribbon. Okay, so he opened his packet and look at all. You see, Mickey's happy. Then Mickey opened the box. Oh boy, he cried. It's a toy kitten. What a pretty little thing she is too. Just look at that beautiful shiny collar. You see, that's what he got. And there goes his dog right there, just sniffing around. That's what dogs do. You know, Mr. Fox is asleep. My dog, he's asleep. Okay, so Mickey saw a little wind-up key on the kitten's side. Maybe it's a music box, Mickey said as he turned the key. He set the toy down. Sure enough, it began to play a lovely tune. Then, much of Mickey's surprise, the toy kitten began to dance around the room. Around and around it twirled, clapping its paws and meowing softly. You see the kitty, and you see he's scared of that little toy. Isn't that cute? Mickey exclaimed when he's looking at his toy. Pluto wagged his tail, but the toy kitten scared Molly. She arched her back and fluffed out her fur. Then she let out a loud hiss to let the toy know who was boss. Silly Molly, Mickey said, don't you know that a toy kitten won't hurt you? You see, Mickey's trying to talk sense into the person. Let them know that toy is a toy. Okay, when the music stopped, Mickey left the toy kitten on the floor while he dusted the tables and shook out the rug. Pluto, forget about that toy kitten. He went to take a nap. Molly crept over to the toy. She was curious. She wanted to see it dance again. She gave it a pat, but it would not play. It just fell on its side. You see, there they are playing with that little toy kitten. Mickey rushed over. He picked up the toy. Be careful, Molly, he said with a frown. This toy is very special, and I don't want you to break it. Molly felt sad. Molly is the little cat. She hurled over to where Pluto was napping. She curled up beside him and waited for guests. You see, he's got his toy. Mickey has his toy in his hand, telling the little kitty, you please don't break my new present, my toy. That's what you have to tell people, because they will break your toy and then you're the one who's upset. In a few minutes, the doorbell rang. Mickey opened the door. Pluto and Molly leaped up from the corner to greet Donald and his nephews. "Happy birthday," they said. "Come on in," said Mickey happily. Donald followed Mickey. The nephews stayed behind to play Pluto and Molly. You see, he's got friends at the door. They brought Mickey a cake. Mickey's dog is right there too. Okay, so they all decided to come in. Pluto found his ball and dropped it at Huey's feet. Dewey and Louie giggled as Molly pounced on the string they had brought her. They were all having a fine time until Donald called out, "Hey, boys, come in here. Mickey has a new toy." With that, Hugh, Dewey, and Louie raced over to play with Mickey's toy kitten, leaving Pluto and Molly behind. Everybody wants to play with his new toy. That's just how it is, people. Okay, so Daisy and Minnie were next to arrive. Daisy patted Pluto's head while Minnie picked up the kitten to cuddle. Thump, 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 wagged Pluto's tail happily. That's the dog right there, Pluto, and he's in a good mood. Purr, hummed Molly. Suddenly, the toy kitten came twirling toward them. "How cute," cried Minnie. She quickly set Molly on the floor, and then she and Daisy went to play with the new toy. You see? Playing with the toy. Okay, so when Goofy arrived, Molly and Pluto were happy. Goofy always brought Molly and Pluto good treats to eat. Pluto wagged his tail hopefully, but Goofy spotted Mickey's new toy. He headed for the new kitten, forgetting to give Molly and Pluto anything at all. You see that cute little kitten? Pluto looked at Molly. Molly looked at Pluto. Their feelings were hurt. "We don't need them to play with anyway," Molly seemed to say. Then she danced over to the wastebasket where Mickey had thrown the wrapping paper and ribbon. Pluto followed. The dog Pluto followed his master, you know. Okay, so Molly pulled out the ribbon and ran with it. Pluto watched with a puzzled grin as Molly played. Soon Molly was all tangled up in the ribbon, and all Pluto could see it was Molly's nose, ears, and tail, and there was no way Pluto could untangle Molly. You see, Molly's all tangled up. Just then, Mickey noticed the crumbled pile of ribbon, and "Molly, I'll set you free," said Mickey. He gently pulled the ribbon from her paws and threw it away. "This time, Molly, leave the ribbon alone and you won't get into trouble." That's what Mickey scolded. Molly pretended not to listen to Mickey, and she licked her paws as though she hadn't heard a word. You see, Molly's all tangled up. And you know, Mickey's doing his best to untangle her. Okay, so after Mickey had gone back to his guests and the toy kitten, Molly went over to Pluto. "Let's play something else together," she seemed to say. But Pluto had lost interest in Molly's way of playing. He gave her a little lick and went over to join the others. After all, Goofy might remember to give Pluto his treat. Molly couldn't believe it. Even her friend Pluto had gone over to the other side. Molly looked around for something else to do. She climbed up on the windowsill and looked outside. To Molly, things seemed more friendly out there. You see, "I know I'm supposed to stay inside," thought Molly, "but no one really cares what I do anyways." With one last look at Pluto, who was busy watching the toy kitten, Molly jumped down from the sill into the backyard. She was gone from the yard in a flash. In the meantime, Pluto was beginning to get tired of the toy kitten's tricks. It did the same thing over and over again. Never anything new like Molly did. At that thought of Molly, Pluto looked around. Where was Molly anyway? Pluto's wondered. He hunted for her in all her favorite places, but couldn't find her anywhere. You see the kitten? Pluto began to worry about Molly. He went over to Mickey and pushed him a bit. He wanted Mickey to know that Molly was missing. But Mickey didn't understand what Pluto was trying to say. He thought Pluto wanted to play with the new kitten. You see, Pluto? Sorry, Pluto, you can't play with this kitten. It's a very special toy. It might break. Why don't you go play with Molly instead? Then Mickey turned back to the toy kitten again. You see Mickey and that toy kitten right there? I think Mickey's been a little stingy. He should share his toy kitten with everyone and just don't worry about if it breaks. It was no use. Pluto knew he would have to find Molly on his own. Pluto slipped out the house. He perked up his ears and he listened very hard. He heard birds, he heard squirrels, but he didn't hear any kitten sounds at all. You see, Pluto's looking around. He poked his nose behind every bush in the yard. He looked and he looked, but he was no sign of Molly. She was nowhere to be found. You see, Pluto's looking for her. Seems Pluto's having no luck. Pluto went into the woods in back of Mickey's house. The woods had a lot of very tall trees. All of a sudden, Pluto's ears perked up again. He thought he heard a soft meow, meow from far away. That sounds like Molly. Pluto thought, so he followed the sound and the meows got louder. Look, when he heard a meow, meow from above, Pluto looked up. There was Molly. How did Molly get all the way up there? Pluto wondered, and how is she going to get down? It was then Pluto knew he just had to get Mickey. I'll be back with help, Pluto barked. Stay right there. He ran as fast as he could to Mickey's house. You see? Cat's up in the tree, and you see Pluto, he was looking all concerned, worried, but cats can jump. That's how the cat got in the tree. Pluto raced into the house. By the time all the guests had gone home, Mickey had just put away the leftover birthday cake when Pluto arrived. Pluto jumped up on Mickey and began to whine. What's wrong, Pluto? Mickey asked. Do you want me to follow you somewhere? Mickey asked. Pluto barked. Yes, he seemed to say yes. So then, okay, Pluto, lead the way. Mickey said. Mickey followed Pluto, led him quickly through the woods. You see, he's following and listening to what his dog has to say. Because his dog can't talk, he can only bark. When they got to the tree where Molly was stuck, Pluto stared straight up at the top of the tree and barked. Oh my goodness. I don't believe it. Don't worry, little kitty. I'll save you. Mickey called. Pluto, you stay here with Molly. I'll be back with a ladder in a jiffy. You see, the cat is looking pretty worried. It's kind of sad for Molly. Okay, in no time at all, Mickey returned with a ladder, and quick as a wink, Mickey hurried up the ladder and gently took Molly into his arms. When they were both safely back on the ground, Pluto gave Molly a great big kiss. Good dog, Pluto, Mickey said, and you're a good friend too, a better friend than I've been to you and Molly today. Molly just gave a tiny meow. She most certainly agreed. You see, they're one big happy family. There they go. They are together. When they got back home, Mickey gave Molly a dish of milk. He gave Pluto and Molly each a large piece of cake. Then he put the toy kitten on the table for them all to play with her. You see, he's feeding his cat junk food. You know, said Mickey, patting Molly on the head, no toy kitten could ever be as special as you are, and having you safe and sound is the best birthday present ever. And Pluto wagged his tail hard. Since his mouth was too full to bark, he has cake in his mouth. He agreed was what he seemed to say. So you see, even Pluto, he's eating his cake, but he's agreeing. Everybody's so happy that Molly is back home. It must feel good to have your toys and your animals all in one place. Okay, so how did they feel? Think about it. In the beginning of the story, how did Mickey, Pluto, and Molly feel about the new toy kitten? Look at the picture below to help you remember. By the end of the story, How did Mickey feel about the toy kitten? How did he feel about Molly? That's stuff to think about, kids. True feelings. See how much of this story you remember. Read the sentences below and tell whether they are true or false and explain. Molly loved the toy kitten from the very start. That is true. Pluto was surprised to see the toy kitten dance and play music. That is true. Mickey was frightened by the toy kitten. False. All of Mickey's friends were impressed by the toy kitten. True. The toy kitten loved to drink milk from Molly's bowl. That is false. Act how you feel. Mickey wants to know how you look when you feel sad, happy, surprised, silly, shy, or worried. What things can make you feel each way? Something to think about. Birthday word making. How many words can you make from the letters birthday surprise? Below are a few words that Mickey has thought of to get you started. Day, bird, it. That's what Mickey came up with. The end, and that's the end of Mickey's birthday surprise. Bye.